All right, so I'm one of your presenters for today. My name is Ana Silvia Torres, and I'm a librarian with our Adult and Digital Services team. And I'm joined by my colleague, who I will allow to introduce himself.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jose Parra, and I'm one of the adult service coordinators here at LA County Library. Back to you, Ana Silvia.
All right, let's get started. So today we will be showing you how the library can be your best asset for lifelong learners like yourself. You can pick up a new language, you can sharpen your coding skills. The library is here to assist you with your personal or professional pursuits. Our objectives for today's program are that you should be able to identify and use the library's resources to access e-learning content, to download and install e-learning apps on your device, and register and create accounts on e-learning platforms. Today, we'll also be covering what you'll need to access the library's e-learning platforms, and we'll be covering LinkedIn Learning, Gale Courses, Universal Class, and Mango Languages. So what do you need to get started? First, you need your LA County Library card in good standing. On your screen, we have a picture of all of our library cards that we accept here at LA County Library, from our most current library card, which would be the purple and the green one up at the very top, to one of our oldest at the bottom, that black card. If you have that, then you've been a member of our library for a very long time. We accept all of these cards. If you haven't used your card for a while and you're not sure if it's still active, the best place to check that out to see if it's still working would be your local library. We have over 80 branches throughout LA County Library, and our library staff would be more than happy to help you see if your card is still active. If it's not active, then you're able to apply for a new library card at the library, and that will grant you full access to all of our resources, including the digital content that we'll be talking about today, but also any of our physical resources such as Chromebooks and tools from our tool lending library. If you've never had an LA County Library card, you can also apply for one at any of our library locations. And if going to a library doesn't sound too appeasing right now, I don't blame you with this cold weather, or if it's just not accessible for you at this moment, then you can always apply for a digital library card. Your digital library card gives you access to all of the digital content that we'll be covering today, as well as all of the other ones that we have as part of our resources. And we'll drop that link for you in the chat, and you can sign up for that library, for the digital library card. In addition to your library card, you will also need your PIN, which you get when you apply for your library card. If you don't remember your PIN, then again, your local library would be a good place to start. You also have the option of retrieving your PIN from our virtual chat reference service called Instant Librarians. Our library staff will be more than happy to help you. Just ask you a few questions and you can get your PIN in less than 5 minutes. Next, you will need a computer or device with internet access. And for most of the resources that we'll be talking about today, you will also need an email address. First up, we have LinkedIn Learning. You're all probably familiar with LinkedIn, which is the social media platform for professionals, social networking site for professionals and industry kind of news and things like that. Well, they also have an online learning platform called LinkedIn Learning, which streams instructional classes taught by industry experts. They have all sorts of classes, coding, they have Excel software. If you're into professional development, they have leadership courses. Anything that you can think of, LinkedIn Learning would probably have it. They also have a mobile app, which is beneficial for those of you who would like to learn on the go. And one of the benefits of the mobile app is that it allows you to download lessons and full courses so that they can be viewed in offline mode. Another benefit of LinkedIn Learning is that classes are self-paced, so you can set your schedule to take these classes whenever is most convenient for you. And in that same vein, the classes can be accessed 24/7. So if 1 a.m., 2 a.m. is the only time of day that works for you, then don't fear, you can log in whenever you would like. The whole point of LinkedIn Learning is that it's meant to be convenient for you. So that's one of the benefits of using LinkedIn Learning. You're also able to receive a certificate of completion when you complete when you complete all of these courses. Will offer a certificate, and you can upload these certificates to your LinkedIn profile. You can also include them in your resume. And they're a good way to show prospective employers if you are someone who is using LinkedIn and LinkedIn Learning for the purposes of improving your professional skills, then you're able to take advantage of these certificates so that you can let employers know, prospective employers, other people in your field and industry, that you're up to date with these skills and these programs. So that's definitely a plus of using LinkedIn Learning. How to access LinkedIn Learning. So for computer users, you want to make sure that you use our LA County Library provided link. We have that link for you on the screen. Don't worry about copying it down or needing to write it down. We will be sending all of the links that we talk about in this presentation in a follow-up email. So don't worry about, like I said, don't worry about needing to copy it down. You will have access to everything that we talk about, including this presentation. So once you click on our LA County Library link, you will need to sign in with your LA County Library card and PIN. The reason why I stress that you sign in with this LA County Library provided link is that if you were to just go to linkedinlearning.com, it will prompt you to sign in with your email. It will probably tell you to start a free trial, which is a paid subscription. But with LA County Library, it's free. All you need is that library card number and that PIN. You're also able to use that library card number and the PIN to log into the mobile app version of it. It is compatible with iOS and Android devices. So once you download that app, you will need to sign in with your library card. So it doesn't have a link like the web browser version of it does. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to select sign in with your library card, and then you need to enter your library ID. And the library ID is, of course, LA County Library. And from then you'll be able to sign in with your library card number and your PIN, and you're in, and you have access to everything that LinkedIn Learning has to offer. I do want to note that there is a video on our YouTube channel in which I cover how you can sign in on both the web browser version and the app version. So if you do find that you need some assistance with that, then feel free to check out that video. It's currently live on our YouTube channel. So how does LinkedIn Learning work? So once you've logged in, you have access to the entirety of the catalog. I have here just a preview of some of the classes that are available for you in the business category. LinkedIn Learning has 4 different categories: business, creative, technology, and certifications. So once you select a category, you have access to all of the topics and subjects within that category. You don't need to register for any of these classes. You simply can select the one that you want and you can start watching it immediately. So as I mentioned, the classes are self-paced. So select the class, you don't need to register. You can simply go at your own pace, complete it whenever you have the time. And then when you're done with your class, make sure that you download that certificate of completion. So once you're done with your class, you have the option of downloading the certificate of completion. One thing I do want to make you aware of when it comes to these certificates, they won't have your name on them. And that's because LinkedIn Learning doesn't have your name. It just has your library card number and your PIN. So for security reasons, it can't reach out to you. It doesn't have your email address. However, you are able to still prove that you've taken these classes. You can manually upload them to your LinkedIn profile. You can still include them in your resume, and they're still able to be accessed to you. I just want you to not be surprised when you download the certificates and it doesn't have your name on it. Another thing about the certificates, I do recommend that you download them after you finish a class, even if you don't intend to upload them, or if it's just for your personal use. You never know when you might need it. But the reason that I say that is because if for whatever reason you will need a new library card, you lose your card and you need a new one, you will need to start a new account on LinkedIn Learning. So all of the previous classes that you've taken, they won't transfer over to your new account. So that's why I say that you should download the certificates when you're done, just for your future reference, because you won't have access to them in the unfortunate case if you ever need to change your library card number. And then LinkedIn Learning also gives you the option of changing your language settings. So if you're more comfortable in a different language, it does have classes that you can take in those native languages and caption them as well. And I'll be showing you how to do that momentarily. And then there are some links for you. We have the LinkedIn Learning support link. If you ever need assistance while you're using LinkedIn Learning, you can reach out to the LinkedIn Learning staff to get help from them directly. And then we have that LinkedIn Learning login page. Again, these will be sent to you in a follow-up email. And that LinkedIn Learning page, sometimes links expire. So if you ever find that you're having errors or troubles logging in, you can always reach out to us, or you can go to our website and see if we have a new link available. We're pretty good at catching when those links expire and updating them with the new ones. So if that's just an initial, if you're having issues with it. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and switch gears here. I want to give you a brief demonstration on LinkedIn Learning. So I'm already logged in. So this is what the landing page looks like. It has a running banner where LinkedIn Learning highlights some of its classes if you want to take a look. And if you find that you want to watch any of these or take part of any of them, then you can hit that play button and start watching it immediately. Right under that, I have my in progress classes. There isn't a limit to how many I can take. As you can see, I'm currently enrolled in 43. I should definitely finish some of these, but I will say that some of these are courses that I've just sort of popped in and out of. You do have that option with LinkedIn Learning. You don't have to watch the entire course. If you just need a certain piece of information from a program, for example, then you can do that. So in my defense, I'm not watching all 43. You also have saved classes that you can watch for later. If you see a class that you like, but you don't have the time to take part in it right away, then you can save it and you can come back to it later. Further down, LinkedIn Learning recommends classes for you. These are based off of classes that you've previously taken, so that has your top picks for you. It has related courses related to courses that you've watched, trending for people in your industry. And then when you do set up your account, you can select skills that you can follow. So it has those recommendations for you as well. And then it has some featured instructors. Now I'd like to show you how you can search for classes. So some of you already may know what you're looking for. So it has your standard search box where you can type in the keyword that is related to a skill, a subject, or a software. Hit search and then see what you find. Next, we have our browse next to our search box. And here's where we have those 4 categories that I mentioned earlier. So we have the business, creative, technology, as well as certifications. Certifications allow you to get certified. These are oftentimes LinkedIn Learning in partnership with other companies like Microsoft, IBM. So you have that option of taking those certifications. And in some cases, you can even earn academic credits. You definitely want to click on the classes and the certificates that you're interested in to see if those are relevant to your position or your school. Let's go to the technology category. And I wanted to show you the example of what this looks like, of what the different classes are available within technology. So if you're interested in being a software engineer, if you are a program manager, any of these jobs, then you can click on them and they will have information for you. They will have courses that you can take. So for you to click on the software engineer, whether you are one or you would like to be one, this would benefit you because it will show you the different skills that are relevant to this industry and this job. If you are interested in learning what it takes to be a software engineer, there are some skills for you that you can click on any of these so you can learn the top software engineer skills. We also have learning paths, which I'll talk about in just a moment. You can also join groups, and it has those certificates that you can earn on LinkedIn Learning. Let's go back to the main browse page for technology. And then when you scroll further down, it has more topics for you that are related to technology. So you can select any of these that suit your needs. So if you're interested in software development, you can check the programming languages and all of the different topics within these categories. If you scroll further down, you can also take courses related to a particular software. So if you're interested in improving or learning Python, you can click on Python, and it will show you all of the, not all of them, but it will give you a preview of some of their most popular, some of their most current courses. I want to show you the first two to just point out that it will tell you whether or not a class is a part of a course or if it's part of a learning path. So courses are individual courses that cover one topic. They have the instructor's name, when it was uploaded, how many learners have taken it, the skill, and the level. So this is a beginner level course. It also tells you the time, how long it will take you to complete it. And then if you want to save it for later, you also have that option. I want to draw your attention to the first search result here. We have the learning path. So learning paths are a really great feature of LinkedIn Learning, because learning paths are part of curated courses that build on a skill. So they build on each skill that is introduced. So for example, this is the Python learning path. So this assumes that you either know very little or you don't know anything. So it starts off with essential trainings, as most of these learning paths will start with an introduction of sorts, and then the following courses will build on that. So you're able to take all of the entirety of the learning path, and then when you're done, you're able to earn that certificate of completion so that you can show your employers or your peers, your colleagues, that you know Python. At the very top, it also gives you the description and the objectives and the skills that you're expected to learn or that it covers. And then to the right-hand side, it has the time of the learning path, how long it would typically take someone to complete the learning path. And that just is calculated by the length of all of the videos within the courses. So it could take you 15 hours and 15 minutes like it has here listed, or it could take you a little bit longer, a little bit less. Again, these courses are self-paced, so it really would just depend on you. And then it tells you that there are 7 items in this learning path. If you're ready to get started with the learning path, you can click on Start Learning Path, or you can save it for later. Now I'd like to show you what a class looks like when you choose to take it. So if I want to take this Python Essentials training, I can select it, and it will take me to the course. To the left-hand side, I have the contents of the course, and it shows me all of the different lessons and the length of those lessons. Sometimes there are chapter quizzes. Again, these are all self-paced. If I don't want to see the contents, I can click out of it. If I do want to see it again, I can just click on it. Then we have the video itself. We have the option of selecting full screen mode. We can adjust the audio, the different settings, which include the quality, the captions, I can enable them, and the playback speed. Further down, I have the information, the instructor's information. If I like the instructor, I can click on their name and it will take me to all of the courses that they have on LinkedIn Learning. To the right, I have related to this course. Oftentimes, courses will come with exercise files, and this is supplementary information that will help you out while you're taking the course. And then you have the option of downloading the certificate once you've completed it. And then the course details will give you a more in-depth description about the course, when it was released. Sometimes it will also show you an updated date. So if a particular class has been updated, then instructors will go back and they will make those adjustments, and then the course details will reflect when the course was last updated. And then it just gives you the skills covered as well. So that's what a class will typically look like. On your mobile, the mobile version, you will have similar options, and you'll have one more. You'll have the option of downloading the content, so you can view that in offline mode. If you ever need to get back to the main home page, you can select the home icon, and you're back to viewing your courses and your saved content. Now, the last thing that I'd like to show you is how you can change the language. So there are a few different ways. The easiest is to go to the right-hand side at the top right of the main menu, and you can select the globe icon, and the drop-down menu will show you the different languages that LinkedIn Learning currently has available. It's just added 4 more, and I'm sure we'll add more in the future. So the default language that I have is English. However, if I want to take classes in Spanish, then I can select Spanish, and you'll see that immediately the homepage changes. So now all of the menu options are in Spanish, the browse is now explorar, and everything is available to me in the language that I've selected, which is Spanish. I also can choose different classes, and all of these are in Spanish. So if I select this Illustrator class, it will be entirely in Spanish, and then I also can select the captions, which will also be in Spanish. So those are options for you as well. You can take the class, same as it is in English. It's just the only thing that changes is the language. So that, in a nutshell, is LinkedIn Learning. Like I mentioned, if you want more information on it, then we have more information on our YouTube channel where I go more in depth on the different features that it offers. Now I will turn it over to Jose, who will be covering the rest of our e-learning resources.
Well, good afternoon again, everybody. My name is Jose, and I'm one of the adult services librarians here at LA County Library. And LinkedIn Learning is definitely one of my favorite resources. I think I love it because you're able to speed up the classes, and some of those professors speak very soft, very slowly, and I need to speed it up. So that's how you finish a class faster than the time that it says there. And like Ana Silva pointed out, being able to jump to the section that you need is fantastic. I use it for Excel and those formulas. I could never remember the formulas or how to build one, so I use that a lot. And so let me share my screen here. All right, so all the features that we're talking about today can be found on our website. We put them all together at lacountylibrary.org/learn. You could even find this one, the 4 that we talk about here, as much as a couple of others. We've highlighted these because we find these have been the most useful to our customers. So we're going to get started with Gale courses, then pass on to Universal Class, and then come back up to Mango languages. So Gale courses. So what is Gale courses? Gale's courses are online instructor-led classes, commonly known as MOOCs, or massive online courses. And that is because you are taking a class with a couple hundred to several thousand people throughout the United States. It's not regional. You might have classmates who are in New York, classmates who are down in Florida, or maybe it's your neighbor across the hallway. You'd never ever know. But they're free. And that's something important to point out, that all the resources that we're talking about here today, even though some of these have a paid component, like LinkedIn, if you go through LA County Library, everything we talk about today is 100% free. So you have your free online courses led by instructors. Free classes start each month on the 3rd Wednesday of the month. So guess what? That is tomorrow. Tomorrow, January 18th, is the first Wednesday in January. So if after this you're ready to go, you could jump in and start your first class, or you could wait out just a little bit longer. So you'll have to wait until the 3rd Wednesday in February if you're not ready to start tomorrow. Courses run for 6 weeks. Each week 2 lessons are released on Wednesday and on Friday, and you must complete the first and second lesson within the first 2 weeks, or else you will be dropped from the course. So that means you have 2 weeks to complete the first week of courses. In order to get credit, you must complete the final, and some instructors do drop in a couple of quizzes here and there. You do get a certificate of completion at the end with a passing grade. So please remember to take these as serious as you would any other course, because some community colleges and universities do take advantage of Gale courses. So it is a recognized platform. And they do extended credit units. So you would have to speak with your employer or your college to see if they accept those here from Gale courses. And you are allowed to take up to 6 courses per calendar year. So that means if you take all 6 classes and each class 6 weeks, you have about 36 weeks of education already lined up for you. So you got half a year of education. So once you go into lacountylibrary.org/learn and you click on Gale courses, you end up here. This is the main page here, and there you're able to see some of the information we've talked about already, how many courses you're able to take, and it's calendar year January through December. On the left-hand side, you see some of the most popular and featured courses. It is funny to note that here at LA County Library for about the past decade, the most popular course has been Grammar Refresher. And I think that's something we could all definitely take, trying to figure out if it's IT''s or just ITS, which there am I using there? We could all use it, and it's a great course. I've taken several courses on Gale courses, and it's really great. So once you kind of start to log in, you do again need to create an account with an email address. Gale courses does not offer an app, but you are able to do it even on mobile. The mobile site is very user friendly, but using a tablet or a laptop is preferable with Gale courses. Gale courses will ask you for your home address and your email address. And that is again because since it is a recognized platform which you can get credits for, they will need that information from you. You select your start date. Again, it starts the 3rd Wednesday of every month. You are able to pre-register for a course. So if you want to plan out, right now I believe January through April is available. So if you want to plan out what classes you take between now and April, you are able to do that, and then Gale courses will remind you that you've signed up for the classes. And if you're unable to, you could always drop the class. If you're in week 3 or 4 and you realize you might not be able to finish, you could contact me and I'll help you drop that class so you don't necessarily lose access to all 6 of your courses. So it is the new year, and maybe your New Year's resolution is to better your personal finance, maybe up your savings, budget a little bit better. You can head over to Gale courses and sign up for personal finance. And you can see there the start dates from now through April. On the right-hand side, you get to see the syllabus. You're going to get an idea before you enroll what the class entails. It also gives you a week-by-week breakdown of what each lesson is going to entail. And you also see there's instructor-led. It's going to last 6 weeks, and you're going to dedicate about 24 hours of your time. The vast majority of the classes on Gale courses do require about 24 hours of study and online work. So if you break down that over the 6 weeks, that's 4 hours a week, 2 hours per lesson. So maybe you could dedicate 2 hours on Wednesday, 2 hours on Friday, or maybe all 4 hours on the weekend. So you kind of have, before you get started, a rough idea of how this class is going to look. On the left-hand side, I apologize, you do see some student reviews, although these could help you determine if this is the right class for you. As you notice there are no dates on there. So there's no way of knowing if this review was placed yesterday, last week, last month, or last year. And these classes are continuously updated by the instructors, so perhaps the review might not be reflective of how the class is being taught today. So kind of helps you figure out, but definitely look at that syllabus to see if it's something that interests you. Once you enroll, the one thing I do suggest you look at detailedly is the course mechanics here. This is the first communication your instructor will have for you. They give a broad overview of what the class is going to entail, and maybe if they have slightly different requirements, than what Gale Courses sets out. As you can see here on the second paragraph, it says 2-week grace period to complete your studies after all 12 lessons has been received. So that means automatically this 6-week course has now become an 8-week course. So you have a little wiggle room there to complete your final exam. The instructor does warn, however, that they do multiple choice quizzes at the end of each lesson. So keep that in mind, that this professor might require a little bit more, but it also reassures you and reinforces what the instructor is trying to show you. So once you get started, this is kind of how the lesson plan is going to look. The green check marks are lessons that I've already completed. That blue on the second row, that means I haven't yet completed that lesson. I'm about a third of the way there. The grayed out ones are lessons that have not yet been released, so I do not have access to them at this moment. And then the turquoise one that says resources, those are maybe your reading materials or additional resources the instructor might have given you. And of course, there at the end, we have our final exam, which again will be required if you need to, if you want to get that additional credits. So, and here are a couple of updated links for Gale Courses support. That's a direct link to Gale Courses. The further assistance that says Learn at LA County Library, those are ones that we answer directly, myself or one of my colleagues will answer directly. So you might want to start there. You could also email me directly, and I'll be happy to assist you with this platform or any other platforms we're talking here today. As Anna Silvia pointed out, we will be sending out a follow-up email tomorrow morning with the PDF version of this presentation, and all the links that are in this presentation will be clickable. So you'll just be able to click through any of the links that are here, or you could email me directly if you have any questions. So now let's move on to Universal Class. So Universal Class and Gale Courses share some similarities, but there's also some differences. So let's look at those similarities first. Much like Gale Courses, Universal Class is also instructor-led, and it is also one of those mass online courses, which again, you do not know how many people are joining in, you do not know where they're joining from. But you have some interaction with them, but not too much. Just like in Gale Courses, there is some discussion led by the instructor, where the instructor might put up a discussion question and encourage the students to interact with one another. But it's just like an old messaging board. You don't need to engage, those are not requirements, but sometimes it's good exchange of ideas. Now, how do they differ? Well, unlike Gale Courses, Universal Class has a much longer time to completion. You have 6 months to complete a course, and you do not need to wait for lessons to be released on a timely manner. So if perhaps you don't feel you have the time to dedicate six strict weeks to complete a class, you might want to jump over to Universal Class and know that you have 6 months to complete in the entire class. On the flip side, if you say 6 weeks is too long, I need to learn this skill in the next 2 weeks, you could jump over to Universal Class, as you're able to access a new lesson as soon as you finish the previous one. Although you can't jump from, say, lesson 1 to lesson 5 the way you can on LinkedIn Learning, you can go through lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, in the same day or two if you have that time to dedicate to that course. Much like Universal Class, you must create a course online. You must create an account online. So again, you'll need that email address and to create a password. There's a variety of courses, both traditional and non-traditional, and you'll get to see that in just a little bit. And again, much like Gale Courses, you do have those extended credits that you could earn. But again, please check with your employer or your university and college to see if they accept these certificates and extended units from Universal Class. So once you click through from lacountylibrary.org/learning, you're able to register here or sign in if you've already created an account. You're able to browse through the catalog, and then once you select your class, you could either do certificate class or video only. The video only, you just get the video portions. You don't necessarily get the additional things. You don't take the test, but you don't get those credits at the end. And you never know if you're going to use those credits or need those credits. So I always suggest you do that the certified class instead of the video only. Again, go from lesson to lesson. You can't jump ahead, but you're able to go through it in a much quicker pace for a longer period of time, depending on how you are doing. And of course, you can obtain feedback from your instructor on anything that you turn into them. So universal class truly has something for everyone. Remember when I said there were some traditional and non-traditional classes just a couple minutes ago? Well, this is what I mean here. Like, they have Paranormal Investigation 201, which probably means they have Paranormal Investigation 101. So, and maybe you have a ghost in the house and you want to figure it out if it's a, Casper the Friendly Ghost, or maybe that ghost, that thing from The Ring. Paranormal Investigation 201 is the class you want to take. There's also wedding traditions from around the world. Now, this might seem a little odd, but say you're a wedding planner and want to expand your base and want to perhaps offer your services to other cultures, you're able to take this class and expand your knowledge base. So some less traditional classes, but also we have some very traditional classes here. You're able to take English as a second language basic grammar. We have the GED prep course, and even an introduction to cellular and molecular biology. So, I was talking to Sylvia earlier, and it hit me that that's why they call it a universal class, because it really is universal. They have such a wide range of classes. But let's compare, a class similar to the one we saw at Gale Courses. And again, we have that New Year's resolution to better our finances, so we go with Personal Finance 101. Before you join the course, you're able to see again here the course description. You're able to see that there's 11 lessons, how many exams you have to take. This one's only 5 hours, but it's actually also only half extended university credit. So, not maybe as extensive as the Gale Courses one, but still very good class. And as you're able to see here, you're able to see view lesson 1, take the class, see those videos. Once you complete what the instructor requires, some of those quizzes or assignments that might be required, you're then able to move on to lesson 2. Again, this is not time sensitive. Lesson 2 is not going to eventually open up. Lesson 2 will not open up until you finish lesson 1. And Gale Courses, yes, they will open up every Wednesday and Friday, but remember, if you don't complete those first 2 classes in the first 2 weeks, you are dropped. Here you have this whole 6 months. So take your pace, jump from one to the next. And here we have some more additional resources. I apologize, I'm not able to do a demo today. My internet's been a little wonky today, and I didn't want to have just a little scrolly wheel, so we went with a little more basic PowerPoint. So I do apologize for that. But if you need a more detailed instruction, I'd be more than happy to set up a phone call or a video chat with you to help you get started on any of these platforms. And again, that follow-up email with my, you could just respond there and we could get started. But again, some great contacts if you have some questions. So now finally, let's move on to our Mango Languages. Mango Languages is a popular online service and mobile app. So Mango Languages does have a mobile app that you're able to access. It has over 70 languages. So as you can see there, it also includes pirate. So if you just finished watching, Our Flag Means Death on HBO, and you got inspired to buy a ship and go be a pirate, don't forget to take pirate languaging so you know how to communicate with your fellow pirates out at sea. Much like LinkedIn Learning and Universal Classes, this is self-paced, so you're able to kind of go as you need and repeat as often as you want. I think we all know languages are a little bit harder to master sometimes. So once you either download the app or you go to the website, you will be able to create an account. Now, again, the apps are available for iOS, which is your Apple, and your Android, which is pretty much everything that's not Apple. So like your Pixels, your Samsungs, your Motorola's, your OnePluses, all those there. mirrored applications. As you can see there, you could either log in or use Mango as a guest. Maybe if you're not sure if you want to use Mango long-term, kind of log in as a guest and look at how the platform looks like. But just know that once you click out or log out, all that progress you might have made as a guest is lost. So I do encourage you to sign up and make an account. You need, again, your email address, your password, and then your library card and your PIN. So you've logged in, you've created an account. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to pick your languages. These are the most popular languages here on the right-hand side. But again, they offer over 70 languages. And you want to complete those lessons. There are some exams at the end, but it's self-paced and it's for conversational use, right? You're not necessarily going to master this language, but it's good for you're going to go on vacation really quickly, and you want to make sure you're able to order your favorite food or ask for quick directions. Mango Language is a great tool. So once you pick your language, so I picked Spanish. You can see here that on the left-hand side, you see that there are 5 different sections, and each section has different chapters. So section 1, which is your introduction, you can see here, has a total of 4 chapters and 40 lessons. This first chapter has 7 lessons. And then there's chapter 2 and chapter 3. So it really breaks down for you. Each lesson starts with you hearing a conversation between 2 people, and then that conversation is broken down, and you learn some of the key words and key phrases that are spoken in that conversation. As you can see here, first you're taught to say, the basic greeting, hola or hello. If you hover your mouse over the cursor of the green, you see the pronunciation hola, and you're able to hear it as many times as you need. So you get a feel for that word. You are then asked to record yourself saying that word here. And then you could compare yourself on how that language, on how you're saying compared it to the native speaker who had that conversation earlier. Once you're satisfied with the way you said it, you could move on to the next one. It won't do that comparison for you, but you are able to hear the native speaker and then hear yourself. So yes, you have to hear yourself talk, which is something I don't necessarily enjoy very much, but it is a great way to make sure you're capturing the correct pronunciation of that word. Another great thing that Mango Languages does, it does give you that cultural and grammatical background. So for something like buenas tardes, which is good afternoon, it lets you know that you're going to use this between midday to early afternoon around 6 p.m. So you can get that cultural notes of why something is said at what time or for what reason, and why it might vary from region to region. It also gives you that grammatical note. Here it kind of explains the difference between formal and informal Spanish, how you would address it, how you would use it, and when you would use it. When you use a formal usted versus an informal él or ella. So it's a really great way of kind of understanding why you're saying what you're saying. Next, the one thing I really, really appreciate about Mango Languages is the specialty unit. So you've gone through the main course, you've gotten the conversational part of Spanish down, or the languages you've chosen, but you know that you're going not for pleasure, but for business. You're going on a business trip, and you want to maybe communicate some of those key business questions in the language of the country. So you could go here to these specialty units, and you can see here they have business. So you're able to hear some of that, the common business language in that language. Also some medical. And the one that I really enjoy using is the text talk. I converse with some cousins in Mexico, and they use shorthand in text in Spanish. I'm not too familiar with that shorthand of text in Spanish, and so they would send me text, and I would have no idea what they were saying. It literally was a foreign language to me. So they have that here, and you get to see how our shorthand looks, why not please, and how that same phrase would look and sound in Latin America, which is like por qué no, right? Even though it's X, that's also the sign for times, which is por qué. So it makes sense, but at the time I had no idea what my cousins were trying to tell me. So Mango languages, although again, it's not going to help you master that language, you get that conversational going, so you're able to have a little more fun on your vacation. You're able to hold that conversation in that business call that you might be having. So I encourage you to use Mango languages or any of the other courses that we've spoken here today. And with that, we will open it up for our question and answers. Again, here are some support links, which will be, really, really long. You don't want to jot these down. They will be in that follow-up email tomorrow.
Thanks, Jose. Really great information. Until this presentation, I actually didn't know about the text part. So that's really cool. It's a really cool feature that Mango has.
Yeah, no, it's one of the ones that I enjoy the most. I see here someone's asking, is there language learning and universal? No, for the language learning, you would want to flip over to Mango. Mango is our one digital platform to learn a different language. So do people get jobs with these courses? Well, I mean, they're not, I can't guarantee you're going to get a job, but especially the LinkedIn Learning, where you could upload those certificates, it's really going to bolster your resume and when you're applying for jobs. So it's not gonna hinder you getting a job. It's definitely going to bolster your possibility to get that job. It's really here at LA County Library, LinkedIn Learning and Gale courses have helped me in my current position. When we started going virtual, I had never used Zoom. I had never done any of this stuff before in my life, and myself and Sylvia and a few other of our teammates were tasked to get this going within a matter of weeks. So we jumped on LinkedIn Learning, we jumped on Gale courses, we took these courses, and here we are, 3 years later. Whoa. 3 years later, thanks to LinkedIn Learning and Gale courses and universal classes. So they are very, very beneficial. I help edit, and Sylvia helps edit these courses. They gave us the software, but they didn't give us the training. LinkedIn Learning. We learned how to Photoshop. We learned how to edit our videos. I don't know if you want to speak to that a little bit more, Anna Sylvia.
Yeah, same as you. I was tasked to create videos, and I didn't ever make a video in my life before. I had no idea what I was doing. And LinkedIn Learning saved the day. I learned iMovie, I learned Premiere Pro, all sorts of software that I didn't even know the name of, and 3 years ago. So I think it's one of our best resources that we have. And it's for, as I mentioned in the very beginning, for professional, personal pursuits. If there's something that your boss mentions and you're like, what is that? It's probably on LinkedIn Learning.
Yeah, definitely. And as I mentioned, when Sylvia finished presenting, I use it almost on daily, weekly basis for Excel. Excel just doesn't stick in my head. And so I've become really reliant on Gale courses. And so what about the quizzes and tests through Gale courses? So it's all done through the platform. There is no face interaction with anybody online. There are those messaging boards, and all the quizzes are multiple choice and online. Now, Sylvia, I do see, I saw the question a couple of times, so we should address it. To take advantage of these courses, do you need a digital card and a physical card? Do you need a digital card, or what card can I use?
You can use any card that you have available. So you don't need two cards. If you already have a full access library card, the physical card that you got when you went to the library, that works for all of the resources that we have, all of the resources that we talked about today. And the digital library card is if you don't have a full access library card, and you're not able to go to a physical location, or you just maybe want to put it off for a few weeks until it gets a little bit warmer, then you can apply for a digital library card, but you don't need both. It's one or the other to access these resources.
Now, with LinkedIn Learning, is there like a limit of the number of classes I could start? Is it going to time me out and say you've viewed this class too many times, or?
No, and not that I've ever been able to see. I think I have classes on there from when I started to use it extensively, 3 years ago. I still have iMovie classes, and I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a pro at iMovie or Premiere Pro, but I still have access to those classes. Because in some cases I didn't complete the full course, but I can still go in and watch the particular lesson that I needed. I didn't need the whole course, but I needed a lesson. So no, you're not timed out. There's not a limit to how many you can take. That's another really great thing about LinkedIn Learning, as opposed to Universal or Gale courses more so than Universal. But those are timed. You have that 6-week period. LinkedIn Learning really works with you and your schedule.
Fantastic. Well, I don't see any other questions here in our chat. We did go through all our questions. So Ana Silvia, want to say goodbye?
Thanks, everyone. Hope you are using these resources. They can be really valuable to you. And we will see you in the next one. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you all.
Bye, everyone.